Hi everyone, welcome to the 26th episode of the Zicast. As always, I'm your host Ryan Zicast. Today I'm joined by two Quinnipiac alums, Richie Tobin and Emma Hoffer. Say hi guys.
Hello.
What's going on?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan.
Of course, thank you guys for being on. And I'd like to shout out the great John Na.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, John. Nah.
I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
I think you,
Yeah.
of course.
John's got to pop in as the skeleton. We got him here.
Yeah.
John, you can voice. We're working on a bunch of different shows. We're working on SOS VHS, which is kind of this set, except now we've bluified it. We've blued it up. We do Almost Alpha in here. We do The Casuals in here. We do a bunch of different shoots in here, and it's always so much fun. I'm a PA, and then I edit our clips, so I'll be in here. I'll be working with John. I'll be setting up cameras, setting up the set, and then clipping it up, chopping it up, and making them look all nice.
Awesome.
But that real credit goes to Emma because she's actually editing the full thing, so she makes it easier for me. She does the hard parts, like audio.
Yes, I do. Hello, I'm Emma Hoffer. I've also been at Seven Eckies for about a year now. I started in June of 2023, right after grad, and I edit all our long form content here at the wonderful Seven Eckies.
Awesome. And where are you guys from and what did you major in?
Am I starting again?
I'll just go. I'm from New Jersey, and I majored in film, television, and media arts.
Yeah, I also did film. I was a BFA, and then, Quinnipiac. 2023, we worked on our capstone together.
Yeah,
we were director-producer.
We
look
were.
at
So we went all 4 years together through Quinnipiac.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. That leads us well into the thing that brought you out here, which was QU in LA.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to ask you guys about your experience there and when you knew you wanted to move out to the city.
Do you want me to start off?
Yeah, go
Because
for it.
I feel like QLA was such like a trial run for me, where I already knew in my heart of hearts I want to go to LA. I always knew I wanted to do movies. It's just, I'm from Massachusetts. Sorry, you asked that before. I didn't even answer. Massachusetts. And I don't know, like I would just have to force my friends into films before because I would always want to make things. I'd always be doing little shorts and stuff, but I don't know, like with people less committed, less wanting to, they're just kind of doing me a favor. And then you go to Quinnipiac, you meet more film people, you meet people that actually want to make stuff, which is awesome. And then I always knew I wanted to be here because this is where everyone wants to make movies. So I did my little trial run, QULA. There were about, 12 of us, 14 of us, something like that. We were a pretty big
Where
group.
was I think 11.
And just kidding, I was a little off. But and we had Professor Andres, shout out the GOAT, who has
Fancy.
gotten us here.
Yeah.
He is the reason we are here right now.
He is. He really truly is.
He's our guardian angel.
He is our guardian angel. I owe him everything. QULA was so much fun, and I didn't ever think that I wanted to move to LA, honestly. But then I came out here, and it was so much fun. There's always something going on. So many people, like-minded people, and I don't know, I just thought it's fun. This is the place for me.
This is the spot.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you have any specific experiences when you were in the program that were really stood out to you?
I mean, so many. That trip was
lot,
such
actually.
a blast.
It was
so much fun, but for all sorts of different reasons. I mean, it definitely cemented my wanting to move to LA. I was like, I could see myself living here, although we were in downtown LA, not in the best of areas.
Right,
I like living in Burbank a lot more. I shouldn't have doxed myself. We live in or Glendale or Pasadena, somewhere, who knows? But but I like living in a nicer area where I don't know, it just feels much more livable because I come from small town suburbs where I don't know, I wasn't used to the city life. And then there's something about LA where there is an energy about this city. Everyone here is juiced, ready to go, ready to make stuff, ready to talk. Everyone's so friendly. I'll be talking to the guy at Starbucks for 20 minutes. I love that energy here. I love how friendly everyone is. There's just everyone's hooked on caffeine too. I said Starbucks. This city got me hooked on coffee, especially here. Seven Eckies coffee machine.
That's a good coffee machine. It's a nice espresso machine.
Yeah, you're quite chatty and lively yourself, Richie, so that makes sense.
Thank you, Ryan.
But what about you, Emma? Did you have any like specific experience, like anything you guys did that really like stands out to you? I know it might be like a blur now.
It is kind of, yeah, because it was, 2 years ago now? Work-wise, I feel like I just, like, it was very entry-level, like, editing internship, and I feel like my supervisor, whatever, was really, like, very by the book and, like, hard on me and, like, doing things right and, like, systems and stuff, and I feel like that really set me up to actually have a real big girl job, where, I don't know, things happen a certain way, and I liked that about my internship. My other internship, I didn't do anything. I would drive an hour to Culver City twice a week, sit there, do nothing, but again, it's all part of, I don't know, the experience.
Part of the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally never did anything there, and like my last day, no one was, like, I was the only person in the office, and like they didn't even know.
On your last day?
On my last day, and they didn't even know. Oh, I want to know what sticks out to me? I crashed a rental car. That's what sticks
I
out to
remember
me.
that.
Is I absolutely fricked up
Good word.
the car I was renting, which was a white minivan, by the way, because I didn't have anything else.
The funniest was the fact that it was
car.
white, and then there was a huge like yellow
was a
streak
huge
on
yellow
it. You looked like
streak,
you had a
and
race car
I
yellow
know.
streak on that van.
And like the door was like so broken, and I got charged so much money. So get the insurance if you're renting a car is my biggest piece of advice.
And how exactly did that accident happen, if you don't mind me asking?
So I was in the parking lot in like a parking garage, and there was like a pole, like not a circular pole, but like a like a square one that was just like pretty much just a big block of cement, and it was yellow, which is where the yellow came from. And it was hard to park in this parking garage, and there was a Porsche in the spot next to it, and it was a huge car. It was a big minivan. It was a Toyota Sienna, and I was trying not to hit the Porsche, and then I hit the pole, and then to get out of that position, I had to hit the pole even more, and it was like a minivan with a sliding door, and I totally messed up the sliding door. It was so bad. It was so bad, and I have. A fun fact about me, the only cars I've ever messed up were cars that were not mine. Like I've only had 2 or 3 mishaps, and they were not in my
I don't know if that's
car.
better or worse.
I know, exactly. And they're both minivans too, so I'm never driving a minivan again.
I like how you sat up to tell us.
Yeah, I know. That was
You got early and locked in.
I did. That was horrible. So yeah, get the insurance if you're renting a car, because I got smacked with a bill.
Yeah. Must be like the added pressure of driving somebody else's car.
Exactly.
Where you don't like think about it with your own, but when it's somebody else's, you're
I know.
white knuckling it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's some real world.
That's some real world advice.
Real world
yeah.
advice.
From
Get the
QU in
friggin'
LA.
insurance. Yeah.
But I'm glad that it was a formative experience that led you to wanting to move out here. So I'd like to ask you, like, how was the move out to Los Angeles?
It wasn't bad. I didn't really have much time to think about it before I did it. It just kind of happened. But I think it went pretty smooth. I stayed in like an Airbnb for the first month because I didn't want to sign any leases for a place I hadn't seen, especially across the country from where I'm from. So I would recommend doing that just so you can like actually tour places before moving. And I stayed there for like a month.
Yeah, I mean, because Emma, especially you, I came 2 weeks after you. You came like immediately after graduating.
Yeah, I think graduation was May 13th and my flight was May 28th. So yeah, pretty quickly.
Yeah, right off the bat. We graduated and flew right down. So there wasn't much time of like adjusting. We sort of graduated. I had the big grad party finish, finished with a bang, and then hopped into the real world. And It's definitely a little weird. LA can be scary at first. That's why QU in LA is so important, I feel like, is because it gave us like a 3-month kind of buffer to be like, oh, I know where I'm going. Whereas if I was moving to somewhere I've never actually been, I would have been terrified. But I kind of felt a little familiar. I already knew Andres. I knew Emma.
Yeah.
There were a couple people. I have some friends of friends. It's actually funny, like, the people, the connections that you have out here. Like, I just started reaching out to everyone. They'd be like, oh, this is my best friend from home college roommate. Or, like, this is someone that I kind of know. And I'll just hang out with as many people as possible, kind of try to build a network of friends and build that little LA community.
That's smart. That's smart. Like, yeah, it really does, like Andres says, like, demystify the city.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of ways I feel like a local now.
No,
Like-
it does.
Like going on knowing the bus routes,
Yeah,
train routes,
exactly.
and that all helps. And, like, what was your process of, like, finding where you live, Richie? I know that yours was a little unorthodox.
Yeah, I just sort of showed up and got a place. I literally, because I didn't know where I was going. I knew that the work was here. And then I showed up like a little bit before, did a little kind of, you know how they have those open houses? I just
Yeah.
drove around. I literally just drove around, and then I was like, open house. And I just went into random open house, and I was like, oh, I could maybe afford this one. Ooh, this one's expensive. Like, just kind of trial and error. I also came out here with a roommate, which made it a little bit easier. I'd recommend that on the transition, honestly. Like, having a friend out here makes it a lot easier. Just because you know someone, you're with someone every day, you're kind of going through the same stuff. Like,
Yeah,
it's a nice warm up.
I like the contrast between the planned out Airbnb and
Yeah, no, I
Let's
just
do that.
showed up.
like
I'm
in the
a
candy
fan.
store.
Yeah, I really
Picking out
was.
houses.
I showed up. It was price. It was all price. I was like, bills. And I was like, okay, I could probably live here. I could probably do
Yeah,
this.
but you guys were able to hook yourselves up with a great job.
Oh,
I'd like
hell
to ask
yeah.
you kind of about your experiences working here at 7 Egg Keys and how you're applying what you learned at Quinnipiac.
I mean, Quinnipiac taught us a lot about film. That's where we did all of our productions. That's where we did our capstone, and I'd say that was probably our biggest, like, learning experience from school, is because it all kind of builds up to that, your capstone moment. And we were in charge of our project, so we had a lot of, like, kind of leadership positions, learning how to organize people, actors, all that. And I don't know, there was something about that leadership there that carried over here. Like, I kind of felt like, just like I knew how a set worked, at least. I've at least been on one. You know what I mean? Because most of the other projects that we're working on at school, like, especially when you're younger, you're just grabbing your friends or your students, and it's hard when, like, moving into the more professional atmosphere of, like, what does that look like? And I was a little terrified before. And that's why I feel like Capstone's the perfect kind of lead in. That's what kind of taught me, because it's actually like, oh, we're hiring actors now. I'm on backstage. I'm on this. I'm like talking to people
Yeah.
on Zoom. And I don't know. It just felt a little bit more like, oh, I've hired someone. We've made something. We had a budget, where now coming here, it just kind of, I don't know. It's continuously leveling up yourself. I feel like it's just trying to be better than the thing you did last.
Yeah, I would say that, especially with the capstone, like, the way that that's organized is you have, like, guidance from the professors, but at the end of the day, we really just had to figure it out ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really just kind of had to figure it out ourselves, and I think that's more valuable than having someone to hold your hand the whole time.
Definitely.
I would say that at Quinnipiac I learned to just figure it out. And yeah, now I can figure I'm actually was just before this really trying to figure some crap out, and still haven't figured it out after this, but Google is your best friend. That's kind of what that actually was not a ringing endorsement. I didn't mean it like I didn't mean it like that. Quinnipiac taught me a lot, and actually is where because I didn't know I wanted to be an editor until Quinnipiac. I give that all the credit to Ashley Brandon. She's the best. I had her for editing, and I didn't like editing before that class, and then actually we were in the same editing class, and it was before we were friends.
I was gonna say that's like right where we first
Yeah.
met. It was like that in Bridges Party, and we just kind of met through that.
yeah.
But
Bless you.
And
bless you, John.
But anyway, that class, sorry, I got distracted by that story, but that class we had a project where she showed us a trailer for Silence of the Lambs, but it was like a love story comedy type thing. Like they recut it, and then we did that, like our own. I did Black Swan.
What was your movie? Yeah, I was
did
about to
Black
ask.
Swan.
What did you turn it into?
Just like a regular, like no, just
Like a
took out all
non-psychological,
the
yeah.
stuff. And it's like one of my favorite, and I still like that. I still look back on that like project fondly, which is rare because usually like when I look back on stuff I've made, I'm like, oof. But that project I really look back on fondly, and I feel like it is where I started to really love editing because I realized how much you can change through editing.
I was gonna say that whole lesson was kind of about the power of editing,
Yeah.
and like you said, showed on Ashley Brandon. Like she definitely taught that really well. I remember mine was taking Rocky, and I turned it into like a crime movie. You know how at the beginning he's like a leg breaker or whatever. I just
Yeah.
really took all that footage and made
That's
it like a
funny.
dark move, like a horror. But that project, it just shows like anything could be anything. Anything could be anything.
Yeah.
And editing has such a power to completely change the mood, the feel, the tone of what you're creating. So
Yeah.
all the power is kind of in the editor's hands here. They're really, what do they say? I'm going to butcher this quote, but it's like the film dies 3 times or is created 3 times or whatever. And it's
Yeah,
like the
something
script,
like
the director,
that.
and the editor.
Yeah.
Whatever that quote is, I feel like somebody might know out there.
Yeah.
That.
That is extremely impressive to be an editor. Like I remember once you overheard me telling Richie that I thought
Oh yeah, I
my least favorite part of filmmaking, and you were like, "Hey,"
yeah.
and like it's just so it could just be so strenuous, but it's so important. That
Yeah.
there's that like,
A lot of people hate it,
hmm,
which I can kind of see why. It's pretty technical, but I think it's fun. Once you like figure out how to actually do it, it's a lot of fun.
and it's very valuable skill to have.
I was going to say, actually, speaking of valuable skills here, I feel like that's something that Seven Ekis has definitely taught us a lot about. And that's like the variety of skills that like as a producer, like you kind of need to be doing a little bit of everything. And I love that mentality. Because at Quinnipiac, you're taking all these classes. Like we take an editing class, we take a production class, we take a directing class. And then here it's like taking all of those skills where most people usually just get to do one, or like maybe you're just kind of pigeonholed into this thing where I like the amount of flexibility we have where we can have so much freedom to be like, oh, I'm on cameras today, I'm in the studio today, I'm in production design today, I'm in editing today. Like I love that energy. I love the mix of things.
This is podcast.
That
Keep
we
it
are.
that simple.
That
Yeah.
we are. Speaking of, I'm actually going to go back to one of your older questions. I'm just remembering something now that I was
Awesome.
like, oh yeah, I did this at Quinnipiac. But how else it prepared me for Seven Ekis is I did a podcast
Oh,
there.
yeah.
We were talking about earlier today. Yeah.
I did the Chronicle, the school's school newspapers podcast, and that was a lot of fun. I was telling you before, you had Aaron Epstein on an episode. I did it with his brother Noah Epstein, and it was a lot of fun. I loved making that. I was a co-host on it, and it was like fun because Noah knew everything about sports, and I knew everything about movies. And so like when we would talk to each other, I would prep all the sports questions for him, and then he would go into depth. He'd prep all the movie questions for me, and then I would go into depth. But it was a nice like 50-50 share. And it just kind of taught me a lot about the podcasting world. It taught me a lot about the energy there. I was switching there towards the end. Like stuff like that definitely helped me get this job.
Yeah. And I was telling you about how much I like that dynamic of the sports guy, the movie guy, and if you bring on guests, what that can bring.
Oh,
And
it's definitely
great,
fun.
And you had a great like sense of like what to look for in podcasts and like creating a show.
Yeah, it definitely gave me a good experience for it.
And that was pre the new podcast studio at Quinnipiac too.
Yes, it was. Now you guys are so spoiled. You guys have
Yeah.
such a nice studio, and I was filming in. Not to say that the other one wasn't nice, but we were in like the business center.
Where did you film?
In the
When I did it?
no.
Yeah,
You
'cause
were
your
like
second year,
you were like the
had
only
a
one in the
one.
podcast studio. I was there for
Oh,
like
really?
3 episodes, maybe. It was like
Huh.
brand new. You were like the only person to be filmed in
Yeah,
there.
I
Because before that we were in whatever the business thing is. We were in one of those editing booths, and we would literally just like have to
Oh,
bring in 2 microphones and a switch. Like it was not the same
like in
sort
the
of.
McMahon Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not the same sort of setup. But now Quinnipiac just. It's crazy how much that school grows every year.
Yeah.
Like we
it is
watched that
crazy.
blow up. We got a new gym now. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
rock climbing wall.
Yeah, you guys got a new
Yeah.
smoothie bar, dude. I
that.
would have been there every
I
day.
didn't realize you guys didn't have
I know.
that
I
either.
didn't.
No,
I
we didn't have
get
any of this.
it was like
Yeah.
literally like just finished. our senior year, I think. Like, I think the fitness center was
Yeah.
operational our last semester or something like that.
It was just our last semester,
Yeah.
but then it was like always booked, so you couldn't go.
Yeah.
Like I was still going to the other gym.
Yeah, so there was like, so we didn't get the rock wall, but we did get no parking spots because of it. That was the,
You got the downside,
I got
not
the
the
downside.
upside.
But,
That's painful.
you know, it's okay. I probably wouldn't have used it anyway, to be honest, so I can't even complain. when was I ever in the Quinnipiac gym?
Intramural basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that was a time.
I never got a smoothie. I always wish I got one of
You
those
never got a smoothie?
smoothies.
Oh, I never got one of the gym smoothies, but
Yeah,
like the
that's what I'm
calf
talking about.
smoothies or
Oh,
whatever
I got
those are.
calf smoothies.
Dude, I used to rip those every day. I used to get my daily smoothie.
And now we have a Shake Smart there in the gym.
Oh, what?
It's like they're like protein.
Like protein shakes?
Yeah.
Dude, you guys are upgraded.
Yeah.
You guys are
We're very blessed.
That is sweet.
Yeah, we're very blessed. In regards to the studio, I know Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee aren't the biggest fans.
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
The show.
They had things to say about it.
But yeah, they may or may not have called it the dump.
It might not be the Bad Friend studio, but it's still very nice.
It has heart.
It has heart. It has heart. It has the Zicast.
Yeah, it does. It has the Zicast.
Yeah, exactly.
So it has something. So moving onwards, I'd like to ask you guys your favorite part of living in the city and any advice you have for someone wanting to move there. Move here.
I got a good one.
Go.
The best piece of advice I could give to anyone planning to come to LA. Because when you come, you know virtually no one. And so, like I said, I was reaching out to a lot of friends and things like that. But the best thing, actually, shout out Seven Eki, shout out Bryce, Lane, Andres, George. They signed us up for an improv class. And that was so helpful.
Yeah.
And first off, meeting people and opening up and kind of being like, oh, I feel comfortable here. And then also like every class you meet a whole bunch of 20 new people that you could hang out with. We still have friends to this day that we are hanging out with all the time. We're going to the movies with one on Sunday. Like our improv buddies that's the best way to make friends because it's weird. It's like you go to a new city. It's how do you meet people
Making
like
friends
that?
as an adult is like not.
Yeah.
It is different.
You're more set in your ways.
Yeah,
exactly.
but something like an improv class, you're opening up. It's something where you're kind of like getting out of your comfort zone. It's also like it's 101, 201. Like they're not too hardcore where it's like anyone could kind of hop in and learn these skills. And I feel like they're very valuable life skills going forward, just being more of a people person.
Yeah. It's a very vulnerable thing to do improv.
It is. It's fun though. It's fun. I like it.
It's kind of fun. I think I like it as much as
I like
do.
yes-anding.
Yes,
Emma, what about you?
Okay, this is just what popped into my head right now. That one of my favorite things about LA is that people are always at the movie theaters. Like the movie theaters aren't dead. Cause like you go to like movie theaters in like New Jersey or Connecticut or whatever, and it's a ghost town. There's
Cinemark.
nobody there. Yeah, the Cinemark.
The Cinemark.
Cinemark in New Haven or North Haven.
Every time I went there, that place would be dead.
It's like
like
sad.
no one would go to the point where I had some like sorry I don't mean to
No,
interrupt,
no, you're
but
good.
like I had some during COVID especially because we had COVID college, so I would go with my roommates and it would just be us four and we would just like ravagely like we'd be shouting things out loud. Like that theater was so much fun because it was always empty.
Yeah.
I love an empty movie theater. But the only thing better than an empty movie theater is a packed
packed
movie
movie
theater.
theater.
Yeah.
So you're 100% right on that.
Spider Mondays were crazy. There's like I've never seen a line that long outside a movie theater.
And with
And it's just,
Spider-Man.
like, yeah, exactly.
Like, Spider-Man's there.
Who's like, yeah, exactly.
Multiple.
Because like I don't know, it's like disheartening when you see no one's at the movies. But at least here I can pretend it's like they're everywhere else, even though I know it's not.
What movie are you going to see on Sunday?
I think we're seeing Long
Yes, I
Legs.
think we are seeing Long Legs, the new Nick Cage movie.
I heard it was really scary.
Is it?
I heard it's really scary. I'm kind of scared. I'm not good at scary movies.
Nick Cage will make it funny.
Yeah, that's
No, anything Nick Cage is, I'm laughing
That's
at. So.
Yeah. And of course, I got to see one of my own last night and go to Twisters.
oh,
premiere.
Yes. Yeah, I know. See,
Fair.
that's another huge thing about LA. It's like the opportunities. You like saw Glenn Powell yesterday.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. You saw Daisy Edgar Jones or whatever her name
Yeah.
is. That's insane too. Like and that's all free.
Yeah.
Like that's sweet. There's something about LA where like this city runs on movies. So if you love movies, this is where you gotta be.
Awesome. And I know you guys gave some advice before, but do you have any more for someone wanting to move out here? Like anything you learned from your experience that you would tell somebody?
For me, it's improv. But Emma, what are you thinking? Is there anything? Anything
I
else?
would say, yeah, just in that vein, like putting yourself out there, like classes and like stuff like that. There's like like walk clubs and like stuff like that you can join and meet people. And
Are you in a
yeah.
walk club?
No, but I follow one on Instagram. It's like pretty much the same
Tempting.
thing. Yeah. Just stuff like that.
Yeah, like one of my QNLA classmates, she's in the intramural kickball league.
Oh, there you
So
go.
it's like stuff like that, like where you can meet
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
go to the bar after or something like that.
Exactly.
And cultivate some friendships.
I was gonna say that was actually some of the best of our improv. Was we would just like go to the bar after class, or we would meet after a show or something. We did like trivia nights and things like that. But it's just a good way to make friends.
Yeah.
Improv would be my #1 recommendation.
To connect with people, yeah. And I apologize for not writing this on the topic sheet because this is a pretty loaded question.
A loaded question coming in. I'm ready for it, Ryan.
Yeah, but what's something that people may not know about you?
That was way too loaded.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Something people might not know about
The whole
me.
clip. Yeah.
I don't know. I talk about myself a lot. Just kidding. Something people might not know. It's a fun fact. I'm trying
Dude.
to think.
I mean, like, who might not know? Like a Quinnipiac person? Like, or just general audience? Or,
Just general
Just
audience.
general?
Something interesting.
dude, I mean, like, not everyone starts making movies. If you want to make, I was making chicken pot pies before I started here. That was the job I had before this. You know what I mean? Sometimes jumps are weird. Sometimes, I don't know. It could end up anywhere. I'm trying to think of other stuff I do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I make movies. I play a lot of video games. I watch a lot. Yeah, I watch a lot of movies. Movies is my thing.
Yeah.
I feel like most people know that. Oh man, this was a loaded question, Ryan. I
Yeah,
feel like I'm not
I
prepped
know.
for this one.
Most people don't know. Yeah.
What other skills do I have? You know what? This is a good question for just like the future, though. I've always kind of wanted something like this. Like I mentioned this to Liz earlier today. Like I want to know how to juggle, or I want like a skill, like I'm a pro bowler or something.
Yeah.
Something that's just like a funny, like a quirky flex, where it's just like, oh yeah, like he's also a really good ping pong player or something like that.
Like being able to do magic.
Yes.
Yeah, like
It's
a-
like one like
pull
just
out a
pull a
card
quarter out of
trick.
someone's
Exactly.
ear.
Like a card trick,
Like-
something like that. I've always wanted one of those, but no, to be honest, I am pretty regular. I feel like I'm all cards on the table.
That gave me time to think about
I was
mine.
gonna say.
Awesome.
It's still kind of lame. I like to collect things.
That's not lame.
You are
I'm
a
big-
huge
I'm a
collector. I was
huge
gonna say that's a
collector.
great one for you. Your
And I-
collection's sweet.
And I
dude.
have been since I was like a wee lad. Yeah, I like to collect stuff. Designer art toys, if you're being pretentious about it.
Designer art toys. Like
Yeah.
what kind of toys?
They're like, it's hard to explain. They're called dunnies, and they have they're little like bunny figurines that look like toys, but they're like they commission artists to make like lines for them, or they'll do like a Christmas theme or something like that. And like a lot of them are blind boxes, so it's like a line you don't know what you're gonna get. And my sister, my dad, and I all collect them, and we'd like trade them and stuff. And they're my babies, and half of them are still at my parents' house in New Jersey, and I think about them every day and how much I miss them.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
like Pokemon cards.
Yeah, it's like
kinda.
Pokemon cards.
Were you a Pokemon card collector, Ryan?
When I was when I was a very wee lad.
Oh, dude, when I was a
Maybe.
wee lad, I had all the Pokemon cards. I was a Pokemon master, dude.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Pokemon fiend.
Dude, I was. I was all over that stuff. Like kindergarten, first grade, Richie, dude, I had binders full. Yeah, that's it.
That was your quirky flex.
That should be my
Back in
quirky
the
flex. But I was a kindergartner, so I don't know if that really counts. I'm trying to think of like a current flex, like I don't know. Do I have anything?
I can't.
You edit short form videos.
Yeah, I edit short form
Yeah.
videos. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't know. There's not much. Like I'm all cards on the table. You know. I feel like I'm
Awesome.
all out there.
Well, that's okay because I have another loaded question.
Okay, here's
Oh,
another
wow,
loaded
yeah.
Which is,
question.
what are
That
your,
one was hard.
What are your hopes and dreams professionally or in general?
Loaded again. Hopes and dreams is also a very hard question, Ryan. These are tough questions, man. Hopes and dreams. you know what? I hope I'm happy.
Oh, such a lame answer, dude. That's such a lame answer.
No, I mean enough money to live comfortably. You know, like a cool house, maybe. A cool, maybe a dog. I want a dog in the future. You know, I want to make a movie. Is the goal. You know what I mean? I feel like production, like my heart is very much in. Doesn't matter what I am on the movie. That's what like is hard about film school. I feel like is everyone wants to be a director, and it's hard. Like I don't know exactly. I'm still figuring that out. Like I love editing. I love cameras. I love just so much of it where it's hard. I love the production design. Like it's hard to know where I want to end up, but I know that I at least want to be doing one of those roles on some kind of movie. That's the goal.
And that's a great one.
That was a good one. My dream, this isn't really career, but I want a beach house. I want a house on the beach. I want a beach house, and that's going to be my second house because a house on the beach is like, it could be depressing in the winter, and like also hurricanes. That shit could go, or sorry, I don't know if I can curse.
I was going to say,
You can say whatever you want.
I did that
good.
earlier.
Sorry,
and I said
I
bleep
realized
that.
halfway through, I was like, oopsie. But hurricanes, like, I don't know. You could get wiped out in a second with a beach house. So that'll be my second house. And also, this is like a random one, but I really want to do voice act for one thing, at least. I really want to voice act something. I think voice actors are so cool. I know nothing about it. I know I'm not an actor. I think that's a requirement. That's like kind of the half. I got the voice part, but I don't have the actor part, but I think I could do it.
I agree. I was going to say, I think you could do it too.
Hey,
Totally.
Thank you.
You actually just completely reminded me of a fun fact about myself
Oh.
too. Is before I wanted to make movies, anything like that, the first thing I started with was animation. I really wanted to be an animator. That was my first like little passion. I guess I wanted to be a YouTuber first. In like 4th grade, I was making YouTube videos. But then beyond that, I hopped into animation because I loved cartoons. I loved just the different styles of it. Things like Adventure Time and that kind of animation style. I don't know. There's something very 2D animation especially. Like I love the illustrations. And I went to so many animation camps. I'm like not a terrible artist or animator. But I feel like I lost a lot of those skills now. But it is something I've always wanted to go back to. Like I have always wanted to make like an animated short or something like that. It's muscles I definitely miss flexing, but
so I could voice act.
yeah, honestly, there we go.
Fun.
I'm gonna animate something, and Emma's gonna star in it, and this is all because of this episode.
It's gonna be like the word. It's gonna be like, what are you doing over there?
I say that we manifest things here on the Zicast.
Exactly.
We are.
Speak it into existence.
Yes, we are.
That makes a lot of sense, Richie. I could feel you give off
Animation's
Yeah.
fun, dude. There's something about it. The color, I love art. I love just what you can do with that, especially 2D. Because 3D, I played around with that too, but I don't know. I love the pen to paper kind of feel.
Yeah, we have the Emma Hoffer's dream house
Yeah, exactly.
coming near us soon.
Yeah.
These are all future predictions. We're gonna plan these out, and then in like 20 years, you're gonna bring back the Zicast, and you're gonna bring us back on, and we're gonna say
we could do it
we
from my
did.
beach house.
Yeah,
too.
we'll do it from-
Exactly.
We'll do it because it's gonna have like a really nice porch and like deck and everything. So, we could do it out there.
You already have the vision.
Yeah,
for it, too.
exactly. It might be a little loud with the waves crashing in the background, but it's vibes.
Exactly, and that's exactly what we want. That's the goal now. Manifesting the Zicast.
Yeah, the Zicast at Emma's beach house.
at Emma's dream house.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a dream, Ryan? What's the
I have a
dream?
dream.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I feel like people don't ask the questions back to the host. I'm gonna do that today.
Putting the ball in my
I'm
court.
putting the ball in your court.
Okay. My dream is just to, of course, continue to do this, and I would like to work in film as well. Of course, being happy sounds great as well,
Does sound nice.
and to have a positive influence in others' lives.
That's a good one too. That was inspirational
That was
right there.
wholesome.
Yeah.
That was.
That's like the quick overview of what my goals are. And
I mean, goals are a hard thing because, like, I mean, I feel old, but we are still very young. And,
Yes.
like, I don't know. These next 10 years are kind of like the development years, like when you actually become the person that you're going to be. So it's always like, who knows? It's always crazy.
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I could also be, if film blows up for me and I end up at McDonald's, I think I could also be pretty happy there. You know, I think happiness could come from anywhere. Like I think I would just be making movies in McDonald's. Like the passion for film won't ever leave me. But like, I don't know. You never know what's gonna happen. And Hollywood's such like a dream. You know what I mean? Where I always try to stay realistic and say, whatever happens, I could be making movies at McDonald's and I would have a good time.
That's a beautiful way to live life.
Thanks, Ryan. That's the goal right there is, you know, just keeping with it. Keeping with your hobbies. Keeping with your passions and not giving it up.
Yeah. And I can attest to how crazy a year can be. Because a year ago, I was not even a Quinnipiac student.
Oh, really?
Well, I transferred in.
Oh, I didn't.
Whoa.
I didn't.
This
where were
is
you
a
before?
new
I
development.
was at a kind of smaller school in New Haven,
Okay.
Connecticut. And then, yeah, I transferred in this past year. So this past year is my first year at Quinnipiac.
Oh, man. So
So
you were in, what, like New Haven College?
Oh, it's called Albertus Magnus. If
Oh,
you heard
yeah.
of
Okay,
it.
I've
Oh,
heard of
you
that.
know it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've heard of it.
Most
Oh,
people
man.
that are out-of-staters from Connecticut don't know what it is. So that's why I usually...
I only knew about it when we moved to school, because I knew some people there.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
That's
where
cool,
I was.
though.
Is their
beforehand.
baseball team good or no?
I know they have one.
Okay,
I never
okay.
paid much attention to
Okay,
it.
maybe
admittedly.
maybe I'm making stuff up in my head then.
But
What made you switch?
really? I wanted to study film, but QNLA was a big part of that. Seeing that they had this program, I always wanted to work in movies, and I couldn't study film at that school because they didn't provide a film program. So I was like, I'm just gonna dive into all these things I've always wanted to do, and then trickling effect, I find myself here.
There you go. See, that's like the smart way to go to Quinnipiac. Like that's like you saw a program that you liked and you went for it. I feel like I also joined in this school in like the most random way possible. I just like was touring around and I liked the bridge from Commons. I liked
You
the
didn't
wood
even
bridge.
live in
I didn't even
Commons.
live in Commons. No,
That's
no,
so
but I liked
funny.
the wood bridge. I remember on my tour, I
You're
was
lucky,
like,
though, 'cause
this
that
is
was
a
the
nice
worst
little wood
tour.
bridge. I like the trees, and they had a really good chicken sandwich. And I
Actually,
said,
the chicken sandwiches were
it's pretty good. So I was like, all right, I think I'm convinced. And then, you know, I was just kind of set from there. I didn't know.
You
I was
go,
sold on the chicken sandwich. What can I say?
you go with the flow.
I go with the flow.
Like with choosing the house here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
same deal.
You ride with it. You ride with the vibes.
I'm
and
just
then
riding the
figure it out.
waves.
Wow. And now that brings us to a question that might have us here for several hours.
Whoa.
What are some of your favorite movies?
Oh yeah, this.
That will have us here for several hours, dude. That's a loaded question, but one I'm
Shrek.
ready to answer.
Spider-Man, the first one with Tobey Maguire.
Spider-Man 2 is on mine.
From 2002, right?
Yeah, that's 2002.
And then Little Miss Sunshine. Three really different movies.
all
but
bangers.
My
All
three
very,
favorites.
very good.
I could literally, no matter what mood, anytime, any day, I could watch all three of those movies.
Which
matter
Shrek? The original?
The original.
OG
Although
Shrek.
the second one is just as good,
Hmm.
which is rare.
What made you pick those movies? Like, why,
Okay, Shrek and Spider-Man are just the two movies I've seen the most in my life.
childhood classics?
And I just think Little Miss Sunshine is a perfect movie.
When did you
I
first see
think it's
that?
Perfect.
Also as a kid?
No, in college at some point. My dad made me watch it. Or made me. That sounded... it wasn't hostile. My dad showed it to me and my cousins on, like, Thanksgiving one year. And we, like, watched it all together.
I was going to say, you made me watch that movie,
did,
and that was such a
yeah,
good one.
It's so
So-
good. It's perfect. I think it's really a perfect movie. And it's funny. It's a little sad, but, like, in, like, the heartfelt, heartwarming way. Those are my top three.
Great cast.
Great
Steve Carell,
cast.
Yes.
Tony Collette.
Yeah, Toni Collette's my favorite actress, I think. Yeah.
Ryan, do you have a favorite movie? I'm going to ask you before I answer
Ball in
myself.
my court. Yeah.
I'm shooting them right back, man.
In a similar vein to Emma with the movies that she's seen the most, for myself it would be like The Dark Knight. I've seen that the most.
Such a classic.
I also love La La Land.
Oh, La La is amazing. Beautiful movie.
One that people haven't seen as much, The Place Beyond the Pines.
Place Beyond the Pines is
I love
good.
that movie.
Really?
That movie's so good.
Most people I tell that to have not seen it.
I love
That's a
that
good movie,
That's
dude.
a really
That's
good one.
one of my favorites.
I never thought Ryan Gosling was hot till I watched it.
Yeah, I just love it so much, and I think it's one of the best movies I've ever seen, period.
It's a really good movie.
And
That's Bradley Cooper too, right? I love him.
But the interesting what they do with the storylines.
Yeah.
And it's like it's cool having like one of my favorite movies be something that people really haven't watched.
Yeah.
I could like flex superiority.
Yeah, and
on
you
it.
could
Yeah,
also
those are
like
good.
recommend. It's a good recommendation
Mhm.
too. Yeah, I like that.
And then I would also say Jerry Maguire.
Jerry
Okay. I've never
Maguire.
seen that one.
Oh man, that's
Never
also
seen
such a
that.
classic, dude.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Oh
I
man,
know
Jerry
you
Maguire.
had the story right about Jerry Maguire with
did
Tino.
kind of have a Jerry Maguire story with Tino. Yes, I did. Santino, he's been on the Zicast before.
Zicast guest
Former
with Ben
Zicast
Payne.
guest.
Yeah.
Was my roommate in QULA, and his internship was with real life Jerry Maguire. I don't even remember the guy's name now, which is bad because it's going to ruin the story. Do you remember Tino's internship with
Billy
Jerry Maguire's
Tino.
son?
Oh, I
And
didn't
so
know that.
his son, so Jerry Maguire and his son would come to our apartment weekly. And then me and
Wait,
Dustin couldn't make
what?
noise because they would film and record, and then we would have to hide inside
That's
of our
who that
bedrooms and be
was?
completely silent while Jerry Maguire was there. And
Wow.
so Jerry Maguire basically just had us locked in, and we could not talk around him, and it was always really funny. But
Wow.
but he was a nice guy. It was just they were always recording, and we can't make noise, and then
Yeah.
it was just.
the real life inspiration
Yes.
for Jerry Maguire. Yeah.
And his name's like it was like it's something long. I can't think of it right now. Totally like Lee. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm blanking. Someone can Google
If
it.
only we the
Ask
skeleton that
Tino.
could tell us.
Yeah,
Ask
right.
Tino. He'll know.
That's Steve-O, Tino.
But his son is blind, and they did a podcast on dealing with like blindness and kind of disabilities and things like that, and like living every day. Yes.
Lee
Yes,
Yes,
Steinberg.
Leave
Yes.
I was literally thinking Leave, but then who's the guy from Tropic Thunder that Tom Cruise plays? I almost said that name. Isn't that also Leave Striver or something? I was
yeah.
like, that sounds like the Tropic Thunder guy. I was like thinking that same name, but then okay, that's funny. But
Yeah. It was just a great story that I
but
wanted.
there you go, real life Jerry Maguire.
Yeah. Yeah. But now I've
You
given.
didn't know that? What did he say?
What is it? Oh,
Les
Les
Grossman.
Grossman.
That's who it is. Les Grossman. Dude.
I didn't know it was the Jerry Maguire guy. Maybe I did. I've also never seen Jerry Maguire.
Grossman's
to be
such a
fair,
funny
so
character.
I don't. My frame of reference is non-existent.
Yeah. But I've given mine, Richie. Now.
Yeah, you didn't give yours.
Now here they are.
Wait, can I guess one of them? Wait,
Go for it.
Wait, like, can I guess?
Also,
I
like,
know what.
well, I was gonna say you kind of hit one of mine. I'm gonna skip Spider-Man, although that is on my top
Okay.
3, just because you kind of. I'm gonna touch on 3 different movies.
3 different movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Indiana Jones. Is Big Lebowski on there?
You got 2 of them.
Oh, fuck yeah. We talk about movies a lot.
We do talk about movies a lot.
Star Wars, like one of the Star Warses.
I mean, easily those are top tier, but I actually wasn't
What's
gonna go
the
with
third
one.
one? Wait.
I was gonna do a hot take. It's honestly not really.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it.
All right, I kind of have a couple. All right, but so I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. First off, Raiders of the Lost Ark, definitely like that's a number 1 for me for so many reasons.
Doom is better.
Temple of Doom's a fantastic movie. Also, the trilogy is amazing, even though it's only a trilogy. Guys.
I had such
it
a
is
big crush
only
on
a
Short Round
trilogy,
as a kid.
and it's an amazing trilogy.
Oh.
Did you say on
What?
Short Round?
Yeah. I was little. We were the same age. I thought he was so cute.
That's funny. Best part of that movie is when they're on the helicopter and then they have to get out because it's like going down, and then they pull up the raft and like
raft,
fall
and
like
they fall.
500 feet on the raft.
I rewatched that recently. The whole I forget her name, the girl's name. Like
Isn't that, like,
literally
Spielberg's
every
wife or
line-
something?
I think it is. Every
Or-
line is like, my nails.
I think-
Oh, I can't do this in heels. Like it's so bad. Like also like super like when you break it down, didn't age well. At all. Sorry.
No.
Continue.
Yeah, Raiders of the
derailed
Lost
that.
Ark just has such a love for me. That was like the first movie that I saw where I was like blown away as a kid of like the production of it. The first thing that I ever filmed as a young little child. And I stole my mom's cell phone before they had iPhones. It was like one of those cell phones with a video camera, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I filmed Indiana Jones 4 before that movie even came out. And that was the first thing I ever made. Like there was something about that, like that's what sparked movie making in me. And to double down on how much I love that movie, I have been Indiana Jones for Halloween most Halloweens. There's probably only like 3 or 4 where I haven't been Indiana Jones, and every other one I have been Indiana Jones. Like 80% of Halloweens I'm Indiana Jones.
I was Indiana Jones once.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I was a
See,
little kid, yeah.
hell yeah. It's a good one, dude.
Yeah. I could maybe ask my mom and I could get the cute little picture of me
Yeah, grab the
with
fig.
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Dude, I got too many of those. That movie, I literally used to do that so much. I used to love dressing up as Indiana Jones. I used to wear the little hat around all the time. I used to bring it, like, anytime I was on an airplane or, like, traveling, I'd bring my Indiana Jones hat.
Put
Like,
it over you when you slept.
Yeah, little things. Like, I loved finding things, too.
Did
Like,
you have a whip?
I did, but it wasn't, like, a real whip. It was, like, a kind of fabric-y toy one.
Yep. I had
But,
the same thing.
Yeah,
with my costume.
yeah.
And it had like the little thing inside for the sounds. So,
Yes,
Oh,
yes, and it made sound
so
effects. That's the same
funny.
one, dude.
I never made those.
And I don't know, like, there is just something about that movie. There is a magic there. Spielberg, like, rewatching now, it still stands as my favorite movie, and I realize every time I watch that again, it's just, I don't know, I appreciate something else from it.
yeah.
Things that I didn't even pick up on as a kid, because as a kid, it was just like, I like the character, I like the action, I like finding treasures. But then as I get older, I was just like, oh, like, I don't know, cinematography, all these things, the story, the character, the sequels. Like, that's my favorite trilogy of all time, I think, is those 3. And it's only a trilogy. Indiana Jones 4 and 5 don't exist other than the versions I made as a young child. Those are the only canon films.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like based on like those classic like adventure serials, and it was just it's very like it's really like a movie magic put into there. It just has a feel like that's the thing like Spielberg movies. They just have a feel that other films do not.
They do. Spielberg has such a spectacle about everything he does, and I love it. He's a master. I mean, he's the best director. I'll say that right now. I don't think that's
I don't think that's a hot take.
I don't think that's a hot take at all, you know?
Yeah, and did you list your other films?
Oh, yeah, what was
Richie?
your third?
Well, Big Lebowski easily. I own the sweater from Big Lebowski,
So
and
funny.
it's because every Christmas, I don't know why this is a Christmas movie for us, but me and my family, like, we'll all make White Russians, and we'll have, like, a little Big Lebowski kind of thing. So I don't know. There's just a nice little sentimental value with that. It's also the funniest movie I've ever seen.
It's
the dialogue
so funny.
in that. Oh, so
Coen
good.
Brothers.
It's so funny.
Always very offbeat.
So
Yeah.
funny.
good. Yes.
So funny.
And the third one is honestly a little tough. I have a couple different options. Am I allowed to give multiple?
You can give whatever you want. It's not limited to 3.
Okay.
It's limited to whatever.
Well, I'm gonna limit it in my brain maybe because I feel like I could go forever. But the South Park movie, I just watched it again very recently, and I love that movie. And I used to love that movie as a little kid too. So these are all like kid movies for me.
Me
My
too. 'Cause
favorite-
I watched that when I was way
Not
too
what I was
young.
I was gonna say way too young.
Yeah.
Because I grew up, my cousins are my neighbors. So I had like my 2 cousins and then my older brother, who were basically like 3 older brothers for me. And they were watching South Park all the time. And so I was just like the youngest one, also in there enjoying it. But I didn't really get it. I didn't get the humor. I just thought like, oh, they're kids like me. Like I thought it was funny. And specifically, like, do you remember when Elf on the Shelf was a huge thing? It probably still is. But all the kids had the Elf on the Shelves. First off, I know there's a rule now that like you can't touch them or whatever.
Yeah.
But we didn't
that
have
was
that as a
always the
kid.
rule.
We did not have. No, we used to have like show and tell. Like our like 2nd grade class or whatever, everyone would bring in their Elf on the Shelf,
So funny.
and then they would make fun of me because I didn't have one, and I was like, "Shut up, whatever. Like I'll get something."
I never had one either. If it makes you feel any better, I wanted one so bad.
Dude, I wanted one and I never got one. And then but I had this little Kenny stuffed animal. And so then I started bringing Kenny to school. And then I thought it was even better. And I'd like whip him against the walls and I'd be like, I killed Kenny. Like I was, just trying to be funny. But then the teacher did not like that and had to contact my mom. And then she wrote it in my yearbook, which is, I think, the funniest thing ever. She wrote like something like, "You're the only kid that ever brought a South Park toy into my classroom." She was like, "I'll always remember that." It was something like kind of sassy, like didn't like that. But
Did you do the voice there? For Kenny.
Yeah. But I don't know. That movie just, I don't know, holds a special place in my heart. I think that's also kind of a family reason now. Like, I can just remember, like, I don't know, me and my family kind of all watching that together and a bonding movie.
Over South Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I rolled my eyes when you said that, and I'm sorry. That was rude.
That was a little
That
sad.
was sassy, and it was rude. You talk about South Park way too much.
Oh, it's just good.
That's why I said that. That's why.
For clarification.
Yeah,
just
sorry.
good
I
TV.
want to formally apologize.
And do you have any others, Richie?
Yeah,
that
what
you
do you
wanna
I could
mention?
keep going forever. All right,
Yeah,
number
same.
4. All right, well, Spider-Man 2 is the one that I'm skipping of my top 5, and then
Yeah.
there's one other on my top 5, which is Once Upon a Time in the West.
Hmm.
Love that movie. So good. There's something about those spaghetti westerns that really drew to me as a kid. I don't know if that's part of the Indiana Jones in me, of like that kind of
The
setting.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It's quite a statement.
But you know what I mean? My liking towards that, I don't know if that's kind of similar. I don't know if that related at all. But there's something about, like, I really liked westerns as a kid. And I would watch a lot. And then especially that movie has the best soundtrack I've ever heard, ever. Ennio Morricone made the soundtrack. He did also, like, The Good, Bad, and the Ugly and a bunch of movies like that. All the kind of classic spaghetti westerns. And there's something about that. It follows, like, the main character is the harmonica man. And he doesn't really say many words. He sort of harmonicas around. And it kind of kicks ass. And I don't know. There's just something to the heart of that film, the editing of that film. And I watched that in maybe 6th grade for the first time. And it was one of those movies where they have a scene specifically in the very beginning. I'm going to spoil it if you guys
Okay.
haven't seen it.
Don't worry.
This is like only the first 10 minutes, though. I'm going to spoil the intro of the movie. But it starts in, like, there's kind of this, like, brutal murder scene where, like, they kind of, like, lose their family and then it's, like, only the wife's left. And there's just something about the sound design in that, of, like, the really loud, like, bam, and, like, the soundtrack, the way that they do the instruments. Like, I don't know, that's hard for me to pick apart, but it's really the music of that film, and that really, like, elevated soundtrack. I think that's my favorite soundtrack of any movie ever.
Noted.
It's just a good one.
Do you have any?
Yo, wait, can we
movies?
pause for this real quick?
Stop.
Liz is grabbing socials for us
Sorry,
right
we're,
now.
like,
Sorry we just paused
pausing.
mid-podcast. We just took a beautiful picture, guys, and you will see it on
No.
Instagram.
Do you have any movies that, like, you wish you made?
What
Like,
does that
do you know
mean?
what I mean? Like a movie that, like, cause big movie for this is Big Lebowski. Like, that's a movie I just, like, wish that I made. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying
Kinda,
to say?
I do kind of like something
it's
you wish
just
you were
so-
part of the production of, like
Yeah,
like you wish you
No,
were there to
like,
watch it be made.
I don't know how to describe it. It's just like I wish,
Like, I wish I was a part of that.
like I don't
Blade
know
Runner
what
is that
it
movie
is.
for me.
I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I think you got what I'm trying to say.
Blade Runner is definitely that movie for me. The building of the miniatures, especially. I love the world. I've tried to replicate that before, where I took a bunch of cardboard boxes, and this was high school. It didn't work. But like, I tried to build the Blade Runner city and do like a shot, and it kind of turned out awful. But it's fun. It's like such a cool world that they built there, of like flying through that ship. You know what I'm talking about? Those wide shots, those vast, like the posters and everything, and just something about that production design. I'm like, that's what I wish. I want to talk to that production team, and I want to know, like, how they did that. I wish I was there to see the creation of it, behind the scenes, anything like that. That's definitely one I wish I was a part of.
Cool.
Why? What was your
I would say
Big Lebowski?
Yeah, like it's just like it's just so good, but like so simple. You know what I mean? It's like nothing.
It is. The Coen brothers
Like,
have
obviously
that charm.
things happen, but it's kind of like a, I don't know. I just like I don't know how to describe what I'm asking.
No, I get what you're saying.
But like I'm jealous. Is what I'm saying.
It's
like
just the
the
Coen
magic
brothers
of it all,
charm.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
They'll take such a seemingly simple premise and then just expand it into such a hilarious art, like Raising Arizona, very similar to that.
Raising Arizona is
Fargo,
so
very similar to
good.
that.
Yeah.
Where like they're almost like their log lines are weirdly simple, but then you watch the movie and they almost have nothing to do with the log line,
Yeah.
or like I don't know, like it's
Like
almost
Burn
a
After
different.
Reading. If you
Yeah.
see that,
Yes.
yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, Coen brothers are just fucking
Don't worry about it.
friggin' geniuses.
Yeah, like it's like very offbeat, and
Yeah.
there's just very interesting kind of humor to it.
Oh, totally. Totally. What's your favorite Coen Brothers line?
Coen Brothers line. I can't think
I know I was gonna say that's
of a line. I could give. I could.
What's
give
your
a
favorite movie line? Actually,
Favorite
Ooh.
movie line.
Oh, I know mine, and it's from Shrek, and it's anytime someone asks me if I farted, I say, "If it were me, you'd be dead." 'Cause he says that. You know what I'm talking about?
That's your favorite.
It's my favorite. I always say that. If it were me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
They're walking to
Yes.
the castle, and Alma is playing right after that sequence, the traveling
I know
sequence.
exactly what you're
That's
talking
like my most quoted, I would say. Maybe not my favorite. Like, it's not that clever of a line, but like I quote that a lot. Like, so yeah,
about.
that's
a good
mine.
one. Right. What about you?
Yeah, maybe that specific line, but maybe that monologue Batman has at the end of The Dark Knight when he's like, "I'm whatever the city needs me to be."
Yeah.
Like,
That's a great.
I think that maybe, or maybe Han Solo's. In the.
Are you talking about like the Gordon line?
Yeah, when he's talking.
When
to
he's like,
Gordon running away.
He's not the hero the city needs, but the one they deserve right now, or whatever. He's not. He's the hero
Or-
this city needs, but not
Kind of like
whatever
both,
it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe a specific line like Empire Strikes Back, when Han Solo's about to go on Carbonite, and then Princess Leia's like, "I love you," and he goes, "I know."
Yeah, that's a
that's
classic.
kinda tough.
Like those are all
That is
timers,
tough.
definitely.
But yeah, those are my favorite lines. But they're kind of on the previous topic of movies you wish you worked on. Mine would probably be like La La Land.
Okay,
I think that would
that's
be
a
fun
good
to be
one.
part of.
That's definitely a great film to be part
Being
of.
around Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone would be very cool. But just like the whole.
What's good? The camera work in that movie, especially like the what's the part where she's like doing a little dance?
Yeah,
Have you seen the camera person where
quick
they're going
whip
back
zoom?
and forth?
Yeah.
Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
Yes, like that's so sick, and it's literally just they're tapping him on the shoulder, going
Yeah. And just
like that
Yeah.
is so cool.
and like recreating old timey Hollywood. Like I think that would just be so brilliant to see in person.
Oh, totally. Any of those movies with big production design like that are the ones I would love to be a part of. Like Star Wars, like how they make the Death Star, or 2001: A Space Odyssey, where it was inspired from, or like things like that. Like you know what I mean? The creation of these infamous structures and productions, and
Yeah.
especially like the art. I'm a big fan of the art of it. I think.
Yeah. And that's the original Star Wars would be a great one for that too, because like that was so groundbreaking. Because like there's never been really a movie at the time made like that.
I want to know how much of it was George Lucas and how much of it was the people around him. That's what I want to know.
That's actually a really good
Yeah.
That's
one.
what I would love to see.
Also, big back to the collector thing. That's a big part of why those movies were so big. Like all the toys and merchandise.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. That's the collector in you thinking,
Yeah.
I gotta get that
I think
merch.
about that like twice a day.
Wow. It's your Roman Empire.
It is. It is. It is.
Awesome. And I'd like to thank you guys for coming on.
Oh,
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much for having us, Ryan.
Great.
So happy to be here.
Some of my great first friends I've made out here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And great coworkers and great models for kind of post-grad and how QUNLA can set you up for success. So you guys,
I'm honored.
I'm very honored.
Oh, thank you.
And
The
of,
pleasure is all
yes.
mine.
Yes, it is.
and of course, thank you to Seven of Keys for allowing this to be
Yes.
possible.
Thanks, John.
Shout out
Thank you,
Jonna.
And as always, this is Ryan Zyax with the Zicast, where everyone has a story. Signing off. Thank you so much for watching.